Hi guys, it's Tim from Launchpresso Digital Marketing, and in today's video, I'm going to show you how to set up a demand gen campaign for Shopify stores. Now, demand gen is one of the newest kids on the block when it comes to campaigns in the Google Ads platform. And many people using Google Ads don't really understand how demand gen works. But Google decided to set up the demand gen style campaigns in order to compete with the social platforms and essentially generate demand on Google's most visual and entertaining surfaces. A big difference between Performance Max, for example, and Demand Gen is that you have the option to be able to optimize for clicks as opposed to just conversions and conversion values. You have more control over what audiences that you want to target, particular audiences like lookalike audiences as a segment. So that means your ads are going to be shown across YouTube Shorts, YouTube InStream, Discover Network, and Gmail. There's a bunch of different assets that you can include in a Demand Gen campaign, including your product feed. And you also have the ability to create carousel ads, which is a very new feature for Google. Using demand gen is a great way for boosting your brand, and you also have the ability to A/B split test your creatives, which you can't do in Performance Max campaigns. And before I take you over to my screen, if you're looking to get started with your Google Ads, or if you've got an existing Google Ads account that you're wanting to improve your ROI and scale your campaigns, feel free to reach out to me in the link in the description down below or the top pinned comment, complete the contact form, and I'll get back in touch with you to see if you qualify for a strategy call personally with me. And with that said, I'll take you over to my screen now. So firstly, just taking a look at the demand gen documentation at the moment. And if you were to read this at your own leisure, you see the reasons and benefits to test out a demand gen campaign for your Shopify store. However, it's good to see here visually what your ads would look like using the demand gen campaigns. So you got Discover, Gmail when they're expanded, YouTube InFeed, YouTube InStream, and YouTube Shorts. It's good to see across Shorts here that your ads appear here like a carousel or in the tiled format. Moving down, you can see the comparison between the different campaign types. And I'll leave the link to this in the description below. Come link to the Google Ads account now. So let's click the plus button on the left-hand side, click campaign. Now, as far as objectives are concerned, as this is for our test Shopify store, cheapcampinggear.net, we can either select sales, we can optimize for web traffic, we could be doing awareness and consideration here, or we could just create a campaign without any goal guidance. You can always come back and add that into your campaign later. But creating a campaign without any initial guidance opens up all the different options that you might want to be setting up within the campaign. For today, I'll select sales, and it's already select our conversion goal of purchases to improve our sales. So we'll click continue, and we'll select demand gen as the campaign type we're going to target. And as we can see here, mentions again the engagement that it's going to attract across those different surfaces. Again, ideal for social advertisers. And again, we can see how it works here. You can quickly move through this as it further mentions the benefits of running the campaign. So let's click continue. Okay, campaign name. Important to give some proper naming conventions for this. I would call it demand gen, of course, but then I would say the location, US, or if there's any other important details to mention. Now, this is for an e-commerce Shopify store. It is important to run a product feed for the campaign. And under the campaign goal, we have conversions. Click conversions and conversion value, which is grayed out for me for some weird reason. I think that's probably because there's not enough data in the account to pull a conversion value in from. Trying to say that my conversion goal is unverified, which is not true. It's just haven't had enough conversions come in the account yet. But if you're running a lead gen style campaign on the demand gen network and you're wanting a target CPA, then you would utilize this functionality by checking this box and putting a target CPA in here, which is again optional. I wouldn't recommend that for Shopify stores. Daily budget, up to you what your daily budget is for testing, or if you're running this for real. I'll just put $10 here for demonstration purposes. In true Google Ads style, it's asking me to push up the daily budget for this to work, but I'm going to stick with that $10 for now. And again, you can edit a start and end date for the campaign. Since adding in the daily budget's opened up more options, so you can select location and language. Now, they do recommend setting that up at the ad group level in terms of the location and language targeting. But if you do want to enable this at the campaign level, you can enable it like so, and then you can work through add your location accordingly, as well as your languages. But I like the idea that you do have control of this on the ad group level. So I'm going to toggle that off. Devices, you can either show on all eligible devices or you can target specific devices, which I think is great, even down to the operating system, device models, and networks. So for example, you're selling iPhone covers or an iPhone accessory, you can likely drill down with these advanced settings for mobile phones and tablets, which is excellent. Today, I'll keep that eligible for all devices. Again, there's a schedule that you can set that at, should you wish. Third-party measurement. Now, I won't be covering this today as you have already needed to add these vendors into your account for this to work. Also new to the demand gen campaigns is this Google Video Partners, which is currently in beta. Anytime I see anything like this, I get a little bit skeptical because anytime there's partners, generally, no matter whatever marketing channel I've had this enabled, I tend to find it waste money. The only thing I can recommend when it comes to using anything new like this, if you're going to check it on like so, is that you go and test it. Although you might get further reach if you're looking for like brand, then knock yourself out. Like click this and just go and put a budget towards it and push that as hard as you can, if that is your goal. But today it is not, so I'll uncheck it. And if you want to learn more about it, there's plenty of reading here for your leisure. So let's move to the ad group by clicking ad group. Let's give it a name. Just call it ad group 1. Again, similar to the Performance Max campaigns, we can choose product groups. You can either stick with all products or we can pick specific products. I actually may pick a specific product for this one. You can either pick category, brand, item IDs, if you're going to get ultra granular. In my last PMax video, I was focusing on tents, and I built that as a custom label within the back of my Shopify store using the Google and YouTube app. So if I was to select the custom label 0 here, we can see we have tents. I'll select tents. And we have at the ad group level, going to select United States, include that. And just scrolling back up, as this is focusing on tents, I'll call this tents real quick, come back down. Okay, languages, I usually like to keep that as all languages within my locations. And that all depends on the location you're wanting to target. You may want to target German if you're in Germany, but in the US, they've got Spanish, they've got English, and I'm sure they've got plenty of Asian languages as well, etc. And coming to adding an audience, this is what I was mentioning at the beginning of the video of where we can build lookalike audiences, should you have the option to do so. And you already built those segments out in your audience manager. But if we click add an audience, you can either click on a new audience like so and go through and follow this like so. So we can call this audience. I want to try lookalike audience website visitors. I don't have enough conversions in here to be able to pick an actual audience themselves. So you can include people who match any of the following. So you can do a particular segment, you can do certain terms, or people with intentions. You say maybe tents, maybe that might pop up. There you go, camping equipment rental, outdoor equipment tent, you can say this. Or you can go with people who searched for any of these items on Google as well. Tents, we can save that. Segment name, just call it tents, save. Your data, so that would be segments that you've currently created within the account. You've got website visitors here, you can pick particular pages. You can say, so we got all converters, but that all depends on what a converter is. We can say all users of cheapcampinggear.net. Let's add that in. Maybe that might not be big enough. It says it's too small, so let's just remove that out. If your data is large enough, then you might be able to use it. So let's just remove that. Lookalike audiences. We'll call this lookalike website visitors. So you may already have a seed list to choose from. These are the ones I created in the past, but you can also browse here for which ones that you want to use. Let's select all users to cheapcampinggear.net. Locations, United States, include. Now we're under reach segments. So to reach people similar to those on your seed list or lists. Now, this is very similar to Facebook lookalike audiences. When you create these, you've got 1 to 2%, 2 to 3%, or whatever range that it looks like within Facebook ads. When creating lookalike audiences, this would be similar. So you can get either narrow, and we can see here on the right-hand side how many impressions will be available to these audiences. You got balanced, you got 5, and you can see it increases as we go up to broad. And underneath here in the blue shaded box, it will give you a bit more information as to the percentage of people in this campaign that will be targeted similar to the people in your seed list. So I'm just going to keep this at narrow for now and click save. Now, if you want to add interests and detailed demographics, you can do this here. I'll add camping and hiking gear just for in-market at the moment. Okay, any excluded audiences, you may want to exclude your purchases, for example. So for demonstration purposes, I'm going to exclude the purchases within 20-day period. Even though it's saying it's too small, I'll just remove it out so I don't have any errors later on. And you can also target right down to the particular demographics that you would love to target. Okay, so let's save that. Now, if you're not happy with that, you can always switch the audience as well. Here's my previous audience that I created for the Performance Max campaign. I can always add that in, but for now, I'm pretty happy with this lookalike segment audience that I've created. Now, optimize targeting. You can just leave this checked as optimize targeting like so, or unchecked. And if you wish, you can show ads to people within my age and gender specifications, which you could have stated within this audience anyway. But do remember, you could be limiting your ads. Depends on how laser targeted you want to get with your audience. You can get this granular. For now, I'm just going to uncheck that box. And again, you've got some URL options there to set up any tracking should you wish. And once you're happy setting up the ad group settings, let's click to go to ad one. The first options you have is to choose what type of ad you want to create. So we can do image and product ads, video and product ads, or product ads only. So for ad one, I'm going to focus on image and product ads. Let's call this add one, final URL. I'm going to pick my tent product for the final URL because we're focusing on tents for this one. Should you wish, you can leave this open or put in a category page if you're wanting to advertise towards multiple products. Under media, you can add your own media like so, or you have the option to generate images, which is essentially under the same slide out. You have your asset library, anything suggested. Again, generate your own using AI, your website or social. You can drop in your URL. It should pull in from your website or your social media accounts. You can always upload, and free stock images as well. You can put in like tents and see what pops up. And here we've got plenty of different options that we can choose from. However, today I'm just going to pick a couple from my asset library. Some of these are AI anyway, so let's select them. These are cool. You just may want to check your cropping again. Okay, seems like most of these have been cropped from previously, which is great. Select those. Just double check the cropping looks good. Select save. Add in your logos as well. And that logo is for Square only. So we'll save this. Can add more if you want. Now under your text, it is required that you add in a headline as well as a description. I have given a few examples of what you could choose. You can click the show more button for more options. I'm just going to select this ultralight fabric tents. As headline 1, you got up to 40 characters if you wish. And again, just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to select this description. And should you wish, you can add in more descriptions here as well as more headlines. It's always a good idea to add as many headlines and descriptions as possible to give Google's algorithm more options to be able to find the best combination of ad copy that will get you the best results. Call to action. They always recommend to automate, but as the aim for my store is for people to buy, I want people to shop. So I'm going to select shop now. Business name, cheap camping gear. And then we got tracking options again, which is not necessary for us. Before we move on, let's see what the ads look like across the different surfaces. So we've got YouTube, Discover, and Gmail. Interesting enough that it's got a European version of ads. And on desktop here as well, we can see what they look like. Discover's only on mobile devices and Gmail. Okay, interesting. Okay, once we're happy with that, we can go to review. Once you've reviewed, get your campaigns and your ad group, and you can select more details to ensure that all the settings are set up correctly. You can publish campaign here, or you can come back to the ad level here and create a new ad, because what I'd like to do is I'd like to quickly see how creating a video and product ads as well as a product only. So let's quickly run through those. So we'll create a new ad, call it add to video, same URL, drop that in. Now it's asking for images, which I think is very strange. But anyway, let's generate images here. Let's add from the library here. Okay, let's quickly just add in a few images. Not that one, we don't want that one. Select this one, save. Okay, so let's select video and products. And I'm gonna add to video, post in the URL. Okay, it's asking here to add up to 5 videos. Now we'll select add videos. Now we can choose a video on YouTube to use. Now it's important that you have to add in your own videos. Don't just be going in and adding in random videos, because there are legal rights that are associated with the videos. And if you're using them for commercial purposes, you could get yourself stung, which we all don't want. So be mindful of that. Another option here is we can actually go ahead and create a video. And from here, we can select a template. Let's use this template. This looks interesting. Use template. Okay, so let's add in a logo very quickly here. Save that. So some text for the storyboard. Cheap camping gear, best and cheapest tents available. And let's select next. Okay, so it's asking for an image. We can add in our images now. And you can pick the ones from your asset library, or again from your website and social. So we can put that in there and see what pops up. You can pick this one. Looks like it doesn't work very well from the visual side, so I won't worry about using that. Come back to the asset library. Maybe this one will work. Yeah, it looks like the best. So we can see here the dimensions are going to work better. It's going to be best to pick images that are going to fit. But as we want to move through this quickly, I'm just going to pick a couple of images very, very quickly here, even though they're not ideal. So let's select this one as well. Not great at all. I wouldn't expect this ad to perform at all whatsoever. So more assets will need to be added into the library. We can only pick one. Actually, we can only pick one from now. So we'll just save this one, select next, and add in another image. Okay, here we go again. Select, save, next, this one, save, select, save. Okay, and you can also from here select different colors that you want to pick, fonts, music, if there's any music you want to put over there. Just this one is fine for now. What does it sound like? Cool. All right, we'll do that. You can even do a voiceover as well. This is a very cool feature where you can actually add in some messages and have someone speak something. You can have a luxurious male, female, creator male, whatever your heart contents here. It's a really cool feature, I must admit. So we'll leave them as is. Let's quickly move on to continue to upload. Okay, so I'm missing one asset, so let's quickly add that in. Okay, so for the final image, it's asking for a store badge. Hopefully that will work. All right, so we've got our scenes. Let's click preview and see what it looks like. There you go. Not so bad. Oh, wait, let me, okay, very cool. All right, we'll run with that. So click to upload. Now you can upload it to your own channel, or you can just store the video here created by YouTube. That's fine. Call it the swiping phone 2/10. Upload to upload video, and your video is being uploaded. All right, so that did take a few minutes to upload into Google Ads. So we'll just stick with one video for now. Let's click save. Quickly add our logo again. Save. Okay, we've got our headlines. We'll just add our headlines in. Add a few extra. And descriptions. Stick with the one. And for this description, call outs, shop now. Sorry, call to actions, shop now. Business name, cheap camping gear. Okay, we also have the option to add in site links when you use videos and products, which is good. All right, so let's quickly create a new ad and we'll do product only. Call this one 3 product. Let's drop in our URL again. Assets, headlines, descriptions, CTA, shop now, business name, cheap camping gear, logo, save. All right, let's click on go to review. Okay, a few warnings in here, what I'm doing right or wrong. These are only warnings. This isn't anything that's going to block the campaign. It's not anything that really needs to be affixed in this campaign at this stage. Let's look at more details. Everything is set exactly how we want it at the campaign level. And then we have our ad group level as well. We have our 3 ads. So let's click publish campaign. Okay, so Bob's your uncle. Demand gen campaign is now published, is going to policy review, and then we'll start seeing impressions and conversions over the next couple of days. And that's how you create a demand gen campaign using all the different ad types. Thanks for sitting through this video. And again, don't forget my offer for about a strategy call. Reach out to me in the link in the description or the pinned comment below. And if you are finding value in this video and you want to see more from me, please click like and subscribe just below there so you can stay up to date with all my latest videos. And with that said, thanks for watching and bye for now.